Greetings. I want to ask the world a question. Where was Jesus 2020 to 2022? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I remember quite vividly every Sunday I used to go close to where there's a church because there's a church live very close to me. And I used to definitely have fun with all the people with masks on their face who were singing and clapping and praising and calling on Jesus. And also because half of the congregation was missing because they were told that only a certain amount can attend service. Yet these people are the ones who quote scriptures for you and tell you that you must never forsake the assembling of yourself together. But when you really understand how much the Bible is a book of mind science, and you understand how delusional people can be, they will quickly want you to get rid of such a Christian like this and tell you to forget about 2020. Moreover, I can remember quite vividly, people in the islands was praying to Jesus when their employers were challenging them to take the inoculation or lose their jobs. And I was laughing because these people had failed to realize that they had data on them, because they are the borrowers and not the lenders. They are the tail and not the head. And the very Bible that they're reading, it says that the rich ruleth over the poor and the borrower is a slave to the lender. And when I look at how Fauci and Bill Gates had all these men and women who call themselves prophet and prophetess and women of God and men of God, and they were all silent and all subjugated to the powers that really control these institutions, where they have been indoctrinating humanity for years so they could have them under their own control, so they won't be in control of their own mind. That is why they never teach you that the Bible is actually a book of mind science, and it must be understood metaphysically and esoterically. It must be understood psychologically. Everything in the Bible must be pointing to look inwardly, not outwardly. So I'm doing this video to help someone who would remember what happened in 2020 to 2022, because they would want you to forget these things. For example, I can remember quite vividly in the time of HIV/AIDS, the religious people were saying that it was God who was punishing these homosexuals and punishing all the other people. And when the heterosexuals and all of these other people started to get the HIV, even preachers, I remember quite vividly, right in my country, a preacher who died from it. And when his wife was told, she doubted and said, no, my husband, I can't believe that. My husband is a man of God. Yet he was bending over. Okay. So, my brother and my sisters, where was Jesus? Okay. And the reason why I'm saying this, it is because most people believe that there's a man who existed 2,000 years ago. Okay. Who's going to come from the sky to save them. But I'm saying to you that Jesus Christ is just a personification that represents your imagination. For God in man is man's awareness of being, man's imagination. So when you read in St. John 1 and 3, where you say all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Tell me of one thing that was made in this world that wasn't first a thought, or first an idea, or first imagined. Also, tell me one thing that was written in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation that wasn't first a thought, or first an idea, or first imagined. And then tell me how you're going to use your mind to tell me that the Bible is not mental. For years, I've entertained religious and superstitious people using their mind to tell me that the Bible is not mental, because when I tell them, my teaching is that the Bible is a book of mind science and must be understood psychologically. It must never be understood as a literal or secular history. It is not pointing to look outwardly. It is pointing to look inwardly, and it have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. From the beginning to the ending, it's all a great psychological drama. There's nothing that anyone could say or do in this world that wasn't first a thought, or first an idea, first imagined. And when I try to show them, they lack the understanding of the law of mentalism. They fail to realize that they are physical, They are mental and they are spiritual. So therefore the Bible must be understood, must be taught to you on 3 levels. That's why I'm the only person in the world that I know of that is teaching people the Bible on all 3 levels. Not on 1 level, all 3 levels. And I'm the only one I know that removed Jesus out of the Bible and leave a blank space for you to write your name, which is I am. Could you say I am and not referring to yourself? Do you realize that the universal question of life is who am I? And when the answer comes, it must be I am that I am, which is say, I am whatever I believe myself to be, for as a man thinketh where? In his heart, in his subconscious mind. So is he. As you think in the invisible world, so shall it be done in the visible 3-dimensional physical world, because your spirit having a human experience and thoughts become things. That is why, my brother and my sisters, I've written many books that would help you. For example, how to turn water into wine. Have you ever seen any preacher take literal water and turn it into wine? You know what religious people say to you? That is symbolic. But we tell you the rest of the Bible is not symbolic. Well, everything in the Bible from Genesis 1 to Revelation 20 is all symbolic. It's a language of symbology. It is parabolic in nature. And unless you've been initiated from the divine to have a true experience, you will never know anything about the virgin birth like how I do. That's why I was able to write a book called The Secret Vagina Mystery of the Virgin Birth. Because I can tell you, the virgin birth is a birth from above. It's a birth from the skull. It is the rebirth, and I would have experienced that. I can tell you that the tomb is your body. I can tell you that this life is a dream, and you are dreaming, okay? And it is God who is dreaming, because God is the dreamer in man. Therefore, you can either be God awake or God asleep. They don't want you to know that you are God in flesh. That's why they give you an outside Savior. They give you an outside Lord and Master. And that's why I'm asking the question, where was Jesus 2020 to 2022? When all the people who had loans and mortgages and was protesting against the governmental system that was pressuring them to take the inoculation, I was laughing. Okay, many people got angry with me because I was mocking them. Okay, and as I come to a close here, I went into a church, okay, and challenged the pastor, because he used to tell me that I need Jesus. Okay, and there was another member of his church used to tell me I'm not his brother or anything like that. When I was trying to tell him we are all one, doesn't matter who you are, we are all one. Okay, and I went in there when they had their Bible study, and I was challenging them to show them that the Bible is all psychological, and he was trying to say that I'm trying to disturb his church and everything. And I was trying to tell him all these stickers that he had in his church, that God never tell him to have those stickers in the church, and for how much people to come in the church and so on. And I did something that, you know, if I knew I was going there to do that, I would have never even gone to do that. Okay, I went because something inside of me moved. Okay, and I went and I pulled along all of the posters there that was talking about wash hand and do all of these things, because I know it was a lie. I know it was a deception. Okay, and he said he was going to call the police. So I told him that I have a printer at home, so I would print back these same things and I would bring them back for him in the morning. Okay, so he doesn't need to go to the police. Okay, and he did that. Okay, so and I print them and I carry them back in the morning for him by the church. Okay, and you know, it was just recently I met that preacher and I said to him, you see what I was trying to tell you? That this whole thing was a big scamdemic. It was a pandemic. It was something that was planned. It wasn't something that was real. It wasn't from God. It wasn't God who tell you to do these things and so on. And you know, that hypocrite tried to tell me that he always knew that it was a scam, that he always knew it was false. Yet this man was willing to call the police. He wanted to call the police, okay, because of what I did. I took a righteous stand because I'm a real, true prophet and mystic, okay, and I don't have to go boasting or bragging about it. I know it, okay. That's why I would have had certain experiences and I could teach people how to get out of debt, okay, because you can't know the true and living God or creator, whichever name you want to use, okay, and be broke and be poor and miserable or be limited, okay. So you have to definitely learn to question anything that is keeping you limited. So my encouragement to you is to question your religion, or your religion will turn around and question you. Because when I ask the question, where was Jesus 2020 to 2022, many people are going to get offended because they can't deal with the truth. Okay? But it is the truth that you shall know that will set you free. And what is that truth that you shall know? The truth about self, who you are. Self-knowledge is power. Self-knowledge is the key to live your life triumphantly. The more you get in touch with who you are, is the more you will discover your potential in life. It is more you will discover how powerful you are. That is why you have to learn to take control of your mind. And someone else will take control of your mind for you. So my brother and my sisters, as I come to a close here, let me say, all religion in the world is to control your mental. All religion, all political parties is to do the same. Is to control your mental. That is why one is promising you a good life while you are here. If you give him your energy, because they harvest in your energy. And the other one is promising you a good life after you leave here. They're promising you a good life in the afterlife when they never had any experience in the afterlife. Okay? If you would give them your energy. So they are all out to harvest your energy. So I'm saying to you, protect your energy by asking yourself this vital question and be honest. Where was Jesus 2020 to 2022? Yet, Bill Gates and Fauci, they walk around as free men. But all these religious people were held as captive men and women in a system that control their actions. Yet they say they believe in a God who is omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent. So my brother, my sister, I'm just doing this to get people to think and never to forget what happened in 2020 to 2022. I'll never forget. And so if you're listening to me and you'd like me to make more videos like this and to talk more about the weakness of the church in 2022 and how the church has failed humanity, you know, how they are corrupt, and how the very things that they are preaching against is the very same things that the politicians would make as a law. Yet these preachers are the same people who are telling you to go and vote because God gave you leaders to rule over you, when self-government is the greatest rulership they have always been and would always be. You have to take control of yourself. Because if you don't, as I said earlier, someone else will control you. So with that being said, my brother, my sisters, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me, what I'm saying, if it really makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I definitely want to encourage you to subscribe. I want to encourage you to like, comment, to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram, you like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at BlackMadGuru. If you haven't read my books as yet, I'll definitely encourage you to check out the links that are down below to get my books. And if you'd like to become a part of my page and community, you are most welcome. I have a course there for people donating $20 or more. It's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. So I'll definitely encourage you to check it out. Also, if you'd like to do a one-on-one with me, you can reach out to me directly by way of email. If you want, you can reach out to me on an app called Fatia. But whatever is your choice, okay? You just follow your intuition. So my last encouragement to you is to make sure that you check out all of the links that are down below and let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.